Welcome, Climate Viewers. This is Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com. And gotta hunt a little. Where in the world is top secret ionospheric heater? Maybe you can play along. Maybe you can help a guy out. I've been searching for this one. This has been a, spur in my saddle for quite a while. And I'm going to dig into the details, give you the information so that maybe you can help out in finding an ionospheric heater that I have been unable to find. So let's get right into that. I'm going to go through the details rapidly today. Most of you are probably familiar with ClimateViewer 3D's map of ionospheric heaters around the world. Everything marked in red right here. These are the ionospheric heaters. You can go in and you can see them, like the Puerto Rico heater, HARP up in Gakona, Alaska, Tromsø in Scandinavia, Sura down in India, over in Japan. All of these are the major ionospheric heaters of the world. Jicamarca, Peru, which is technically considered a super darn, but whatever. Let's not hash that out right now. As you can see, looks like a HARP, smells like a HARP. 4.5 million watts is a HARP. So I had a guy reach out to me, and he provided me, he was looking into the Norway spiral and the causes of it. And he came across two references, which I then got in touch with Chris Fallon. And Christopher Fallon was the director of HARP. And I sent him the links and I said, hey man, have you ever heard of this facility? And he's like, if this is confirmed, this would be news to me. And at first he thought I was confused about the thing. He went back and read it and he's like, well, I'll be damned. That is talking about a place I've never heard of. So director of HARP's never heard of it. I've never heard of it. It's not on my map currently. I'm going to show you the references and give you some theories on it. So let's see what we can find out. Before we do that, if you're watching this anywhere else, Odyssey or my BitChute, or if somebody's mirrored it to their own channel, please come over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Or you can come over and right in the details of this video, you can click on connect.climateviewer.com, which will link you to all three of my websites, ways to support me on Patreon, PayPal, or GoFundMe. Check out my new merchandise shop, and you can see all of my other social media links. Gonna update this tomorrow, and you'll see that I am now also on Getter. I will be creating a Gab and a Telegram real soon. And I guess last small detail before we get any further into the video, a good friend of mine wrote an excellent book for your children. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is just from one friend to another. Christine Farron, as you can see her right there, Christine Leiden. She wrote this book, and it's called Why Does the Moon Shine So Bright? And I'm telling you, my children absolutely adore it, but you talk about absolutely amazing artwork, great book, short read, very interesting. You can find it on Amazon.com. And of course, I made a website for it as well, and you can check that out right here. I'll bring that up. And it's artisticpublications.com, and you can see I made this website for her. Check out the book. It's a great book. I read it to my kids. My kids absolutely love it. I designed a website for her. She's had some trouble, getting it out there, and I told her I'd mention it. So I'm just doing this from one friend to another. If you have children, or if you have family members who are children, buy this book for them. It's cheap. You can get it on Amazon in paperback or Kindle, and she would greatly appreciate it. It's also available in Spanish. So that being said, let's get down to the search for this thing. So my boy, who goes by Fighting Monarch, and it's fightingmonarch.com, he's got this article, and right about here is where he gets into this high frequency heating facility near Monchegorsk in the Kola Peninsula. And he did that based on all of the observations of the Norway spiral, those who aren't familiar with it. And he was mapping these out and trying to figure out where exactly this would be. And this is in the Kola Peninsula. So he goes through a whole lot of stuff in this article. It's very lengthy, very detailed, figuring out exactly where it could have come from and all of that sort of thing. So you can check that out right here. Norway Spiral, Weaponized Weather. Have you ever heard of the Norway Spiral? It goes through all that, shows you all the videos. And, of course, has a whole bunch of links to, my stuff as well, like weathermodificationhistory.com. And it reached out to me via email. So I was looking into it. And here are some of the, the two references that we've been able to find that really just struck a chord. And I've been trying to figure this out ever since. So, the Son of Africa, weather modification is ruining our planet. Totally agree. And I really appreciate that super chat. Thank you very much. So in this paper right here, you can see that it's from the Polar Geophysical Institute at the Kola Science Center of the Russian Academy of Sciences, Apatity, Murmansk Oblast, Russia. And in it, oh great, their website sucks. If I zoom in too far, it's gonna like blow up and get in the way. You see this? Here, let's do some fast editing real quick. You go away. All right. And right here, what we have is it says, initially heaters, the ionospheric heaters, were found in Platteville, Arecibo, Nizhny Novgorod. Those are some of the early ionospheric heaters. It says later, some ionospheric heaters were applied for the investigation of high latitude ionosphere, owing their location to high latitudes, namely near Monchegorsk, Kola Peninsula, near Tromsø, Scandinavia, near Fairbanks, Alaska, near Gakona, Alaska, near Longyearbyen and Svalbard. I have the Tromsø heater. Fairbanks is the high pass heater. Also, that's closed now. Gakona, Alaska is HARP. And Longyearbyen is ISCAT. So I have all of the other ones on my map already. In fact, I can show you those real quickly. So this is a Spear. It is in Longyearbyen. As you can see right here, that's Spear, the space plasma exploration by active radar. This is the Tromsø heater in Scandinavia. I put Norway on here, but regardless. And in Gakona, Alaska, which is right there, and that is HARP. So I have all of the other ones listed. I do not have anything on this one in Monchegorsk, Kola Peninsula, which really got me scratching my head because I thought I had them all. You can imagine after years, I mean, over a decade of like, one of the very first thing I did was start mapping out ionospheric heaters around the world because I knew that HARP couldn't be the only one. But to now, 10 years on, be hearing about this for the first time. And of course, Christopher Fallon, director of HARP, also never heard of this. This is a nice little hunt. And I hope that you guys will help me find this thing because I'm going to show you what I've done so far to try to track it down. And maybe one of you nosy individuals will be able to win the grand prize of saying, I'm the guy that found it, and I will definitely thank you in the video, and we will break it all down in graphic detail. Maybe a little more complicated than it sounds, and here's why. So, second paper. So, getting a single source is usually a bad thing. But again, Polar Geophysical Institute at Kola Science Center, mentioned, and in this paper, you go to the actual right here, it says article, you click on that, and you come down here, and this is what you get. Scrolling over. Only a few ionospheric heaters have been built and utilized for the modification of high-latitude ionosphere, namely the high-frequency heating facility near Monchegorsk, Kola Peninsula, the high-frequency facility near Tromsø, Scandinavia, the high-pass heating facility near Fairbanks, Alaska, the HARP facility near Gakona, Alaska. So that's the ones I just showed you. We know about Tromsø. We know about high-pass. We know about HARP. We don't know anything about this one. I've never heard anybody ever mention it. I can't find anything else on it. Here's what I did. So the University Corporation for Atmospheric Research has what's called CedarWeb, which is currently down, by the way. So I couldn't even go to the original website. But CedarWeb has this, and I'm pulling this up from when I saved it back in 2020. But here's Cedar's logo on cedarweb.bsp.ucar.edu. And in it, they have all of the different, atmospheric sensors of the world listed out. All right. So we're going deep in the rabbit hole. This is stuff that most people, have never even heard of. But trust me, as an extreme nerd who does some deep digging, this is one of the places that I use to reference to create a lot of the maps that I had. And of course, every single one of these location details is incorrect. So I would go to the location. Some of these are only a single decimal deep, which means that they're not even, close. They would be off by like 3 to 5 miles. And I'd be searching through Google Earth till I finally found the place. But regardless, in the incoherent scatter radar section, these are all of the major ionospheric heaters of the world, like Jicamarca, Peru, like the Arecibo, the Tromsø is right here. All the other ISCAT ones from around the world are here. So this is where, you would normally see the big boys. This is the big boy section. Then you have coherent scatter ionospheric radars, all listed here, on down to middle atmospheric radars, and the list goes on and on. Ionosigns and all this. So I was looking through this, and what I came across was there were some ground magnetometers. Now, magnetometers are used to test whether ionospheric heaters are active, to actually listen for the response of the ionosphere to active heating. So this is what we're looking for. Usually these are located at these facilities. So I went hunting for that, and I found Lovo Zero and MMK in Murmansk. So both of these are near the heater location that we're looking for. Okay. And their designations are LOZ and MMK. So it's like, okay, now let's go and try to find the people who wrote those articles. So this is the Kola Arctic Geophysical Infrastructure Network of the Polar Geophysical Institute. Just a reminder, that's who wrote this thing. Polar Geophysical Institute, Kola Science Center right here. So I went to their page to try to track down their equipment, because sometimes they like to brag about their equipment. So here's all of the equipment list, and they have PGI Observatory in Lovo Zero. So that's where that ground-based magnetometer is. You can see it's listed right here. And then they have Murmansk is listed here, and Apatity, Apatity. I don't know how to. Don't look to a southern guy to read a bunch of foreign, especially Russian, properly. But hey, it's what it is. But this is at pgi.ru/Kagin, Kagin. So they have a list of all their different facilities, but I don't see anything in this list that says, hey, I'm an ionospheric heater. And here's their different, research observatories all listed out. I did go to Google Scholar, and I found an interesting little snippet that basically goes like this: ionospheric modification by high-powered radio waves. And on it says in the little quote, used a commercial transmitter, Radio Moscow, in Monchegorsk to conduct ionospheric stimulation experiments at night. So, at the end, we might not even be looking for an ionospheric heater. What they may have even been referring to is something similar to what America has done with Voice of America. These are really high-powered radio transmitting stations that transmit across the world. So they may have been heating the ionosphere with Radio Moscow in the Kola Peninsula near Monchegorsk. Don't know. Haven't confirmed it, but I did go look for the original reference. The original reference is here on Springer. Of course, it's $139 for a freaking soft cover of the book, or $109 for an ebook. And even then, I found a free version of it online. But the problem is, portions of this document are illegible. From Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory by Lewis M. Duncan, Ionospheric Effects Symposium 1981. And you can see, yeah, it's pretty damn illegible. So I'm not even sure how they were able to read that on there, but I can make out Arecibo, Puerto Rico, Platteville, Colorado, and Russia near Moscow. So most of this is illegible. I could probably run this through some high, quality artificial intelligence and OCR and get something out of this. I may do that in the near future, but this is as good as it gets right now. So it's pretty crappy. And, I couldn't find anything to even verify what they have right here in this quote. So we're still looking a little deeper. I'm not exactly certain on this, but we definitely have, these are the facts, 2 scientific papers, both from the same authors, the Polar Geophysical Institute in Kola Peninsula. And they both say that there is, as they put it, high frequency heating facility near Monchegorsk. They don't say Radio Moscow. They say ionospheric heater. So that's what we're looking for. I want you guys to dig deep, scour the internets, peer into the intertubes, and hit me up on anywhere. Comment on this video. Send me an email. Jim@climateviewer.com. I did look other places for this. This is other references to this exact same book. And as you can see here, ionospheric modification by high-powered radio waves, Duncan L.M., Los Alamos Scientific Lab, excuse me, not Lawrence Livermore. Most of the jerkery, but we'll be correct about this. It's Los Alamos. And right here in this paper, you can actually see the Tromso ionospheric heater working with the Lovo Zero magnetometer here. So, I've been, scouring deep and wide for something. For those who don't even know the area we're talking about here at the Kola Peninsula. So it's right up here, the top of Russia, above Norway and Scandinavia, Sweden. So we got Norway, Sweden, Finland. It's right here. This is the area. And there is a Monchegorsk air base. So being that Russia tends to keep these things military, it may be in the near proximity of this. I did look up these coordinates to try to see if there was anything in the neighborhood before making this video, but it's not as easy as it sounds. So one of my favorite places to look is called Wikimapia, wikimapia.org. And what you could do with Wikimapia, and I found many things through this site, is that when you actually zoom into a location, all of these little blocks are going to pop up. So what are some of the locations mentioned? It was Apatity, Murmansk. So when we come into Murmansk, what we're going to see is all of these like blocks start to pop up. You can click on them and they will actually tell you what that location is. Some of them will actually have a photo of the location. It's a great source for being able to dig. So if anybody reads Russian, that would probably be very helpful in finding this. You know, I had a lot of trouble digging through this. The Lovo Zero area is right over here, and as I was looking at Lovo Zero, of course, there's an air base here. So you can see Lovo Zero airstrip, and then actually flip through the photos from the area. Didn't see anything like what I was looking for. But she's there, and I'm live on YouTube. Just but anyway, so use this tool however you like to basically there it is, to come in here and look for things like, you know, this is obviously some anti-aircraft missiles and that sort of thing. And right here is an alpha RSDN transmitter. So this is how I find a lot of things. What we're looking for is a freaking ionospheric heater in the Kola Peninsula. It could be anywhere from Lovo Zero to Murmansk, down to Apatity. You let me know. Tell me what you find. And then you can also use ClimateViewer 3D to make sure that it isn't something that I've already got on here. Because I have, let me reset this zoom real quick. What you're going to realize is that I've gone through and I've pretty much got a lot of these things already in here. And we're not looking for digisigns. We're not looking for extremely low frequency ELF or VLF sites. All right, and then we have missile defense radars, MST atmospheric radio telescopes, super darn. So we'll turn all those on real quick. And then what you see is, yeah, there's a lot of radio transmissions. But we could be looking for something, and there is the Alpha RSDN that I just was showing you on Wikimapia. So that already got that bad boy on my map. So just check through the references, make sure you're not looking at something that's already on there. That's a VLF site. Right over here we have some Russian military radars. You know what? This actually might be one of the D-Nestor M radars. Have to look into that. Could be a possibility. Could be a possibility. So yeah, just come through ClimateViewer 3D. Look at all of these. That is Zev's, the 82 hertz transmitter in Tula Oblast, and very approximate location for Loransi, which is shut down. So that's not even operational. But that's all we got in the Kola Peninsula. That's an X-band radar. That's Globus. So that's not it. So this missile defense radar may be what they're referring to. I'm going to have to do some referencing on that to try to figure it out. But take a look at the references. They're in the details of the video. Let me know what you think. Are we dealing with a top secret, hasn't really been disclosed to the public ionospheric heater? Could it have been Radio Moscow they were talking about? Could it be these D-Nestor M's, which is now the DNEPR radars on the Kola Peninsula? They're missile defense radars. I'm not certain, but I want to know for certain. And I hope that you guys will look into it. Let me know in the details. Let me know. Leave me a comment. Send me an email. I greatly appreciate it. It's been itching at me, and I want to know. So send me a message. Holler at your boy. Going to be updating all of my maps real soon, so I want to make sure that they're thorough. And God forbid that there's a freaking ionospheric heater out there I don't know about. And this would really solve a bet between me and Chris Fallen, the former director of HARP. So appreciate everybody tuning into this. The hunt is on. It's in your lap. Take the ball, run with it. Let me know what you think. And I would greatly appreciate any help in doing this hunt, because I don't read Russian, and there are a lot of freaking dots on this Wikimapia. So please help a brother out. And you can also help a brother out by supporting me on Patreon, PayPal, or GoFundMe. And of course, hit that subscribe button, share this video with everybody. And remember, I don't like ionospheric heaters too much. Chris knows this. Everybody knows this. That's why I map these things out, to make everybody, clear on where these things are, what they do, and why they do it. And that's why I want to have this be thorough. So help Fighting Monarch and myself and Chris solve this little debacle and figure out where this is. And then use this video to attack ideas, not people. Appreciate it, guys. Catch you on the next one.